Okay, so let us continue with the basics. So we have discussed this factorization that AB minus K minus KB, we can write it as A minus K into B minus K square, because A minus K into B minus K is AB minus KB minus KA, and you get a plus K square. So we just subtract a K square to maintain uniformity. Now suppose you have AB plus KA minus KB. Okay, then how will you write this? So since there is AB, so now you need to write plus K or minus K in the brackets. So with A, it is positive K. So here we will write plus K, because then you'll get plus KA. And with B, it is negative K. So I'll write minus K here. So then if I multiply, I'll get AB. With A, I'll get plus K. With B, I'll get minus B. Okay. And here we have minus K square. So we'll add K square. Okay. So this is a way, I mean, you can express it. So this type of expressions will be useful. So no need to memorize this, but whenever you see this, I mean, you should get this idea that we can express it in this way. Okay. So let us do some examples. Say you have an equation x square plus 3x is equals to 7 plus y square. Right? So you need to find the integral solutions of this equation. Find integral solutions of this equation. Okay, so integral solutions means what? X comma y ordered pair should be an integer. Both x should be an integer and y should be an integer. So z is used for the set of integers. So the ordered pairs x comma y, you have the solutions as ordered pairs x comma y, in that x and y both should be integers. So you need to find such solutions. Okay, so now if you see this, there is only one equation, but there are two variables. So you have infinitely many solutions to this equation. Okay, but since it is given that you need to find integral solutions, then there might be finite many solutions. Okay, but there is no guarantee that there will be finite. There might be finite, because he is asking only integral solutions. So let us see how do we tackle this problem. Okay, so first what I'm doing is I am making it as perfect square. Okay, so x square plus 3x, I need to convert it into perfect square. So x square, I will use the formula of a plus b whole square, which is a square plus 2ab plus b square. Okay, so this is the formula of a plus b whole square. So x square plus 3x, I want to write it as some x plus constant whole square. Okay, so x plus constant whole square is x square plus 2 into constant into x plus constant square. Okay, so we already have x square here, and we already have x term and its coefficient is 3. Okay, so I'm comparing this 2kx with 3. So then I can see that my k should be 3 by 2, because this 3x I can write it as 2 into 3 by 2 into x, right? And to get this k square, I am just adding and subtracting this 3 by 2 whole square. Okay, so this is what I have done. So to convert it into perfect square, I am intending to write it as x plus some constant whole square. Okay, so it is x square plus 2kx plus k square. So x square is fine. So 3x I have written as 2 into 3 by 2 into x. So this is of the form 2 into x into b. Now this b square I have added and subtracted. So this is equal to 7 plus y square. Okay, y is, I mean, already in perfect square. There is no y term. So let us express this as perfect square. So this is x plus 3 by 2 whole square, right? And minus y square is equals to 7 plus 3 by 2 whole square, right? So this is x plus 3 by 2 whole square. Y square comes to this side of the equation, and this minus 3 by 2 whole square, I have sent it to other side. So now we can factorize this. Okay, so this is the usefulness. So it is a square minus b square. So I can write it as x plus 3 by 2 minus y into x plus 3 by 2 plus y, which is equals to 7 plus 9 over 4. So which is 28 plus 9, it is 37 by 4. Okay, so then I can say that this is 2x minus 2y plus 3 into 2x plus 2y plus 3. Okay, it is 37. So we have just multiplied by 4. So here it was 2, here it was 2, here it was 4. So this gets cancelled. Now if you see this equation, this is very useful way of expressing the original equation. Okay, so original equation was something like this. It was quadratic in x and it was quadratic in y. Finally we have factorized this and we have got two linear equations in x and y equals to a constant number 37. Now we want integral solutions, right? We want integral solutions of this equation. So you just do the solution along with me. Okay, don't wait for the problem to get completed. So just keep writing along with me and try to catch up. So the speed will be a little bit higher, so try to catch up. Okay, so now you can see that we want integral solutions. So x is integer and y is integer. That is what we want. So if x and y are integers, okay, then I can say that this 2x minus 2y plus 3 and 2x plus 2y plus 3 are also integers, right? So now if you see this 37, 37 is a prime number, right? So this 37 should be expressed as product of two numbers, and then we can equate it to 2x minus 2y plus 3 and 2x plus 2y plus 3. So the possibilities are 2x minus 2y plus 3 into 2x minus plus 2y plus 3. Okay, since both of these numbers are integers, so the possibilities are that this is 37 and this is 1, or this is 1, this is 37, or this is minus 37, this is minus 1, or this is minus 1 and this is minus 37, right? These are the only possibilities because 37 is a prime, right? These are the only possibilities. So I mean, you can't write 37 by 2 into 2, because if you equate this one as 37 by 2, this is not possible because x and y are integers, so this entire term should be integer. So you can't take this as 37 by 2. Okay, so only possibilities are you can express this as 37. Okay, this term you can take as 37, second term as 1, or the first term as 1, second as 37. Okay, or you can take with negative signs. Okay, now these are the only possibilities, so we solve each case. Okay, so case 1, 2x minus 2y plus 3 is 37 and 2x plus 2y plus 3 is 1. Okay, this is our case 1. So if we just add these two equations, I'll get 4x plus 6 is equals to 38. So that is 4x is equals to 32. So this implies that x is equals to 8. Okay, so if you put x is equals to 8 in any one of the equations, you can get that. Let me put x is equals to 8 in 2x plus 2y plus 3 equals to 1. So 2 into 8 plus 2y plus 3 is equals to 1. So 2y is equals to, it is 16 plus 3, 19. 1 minus 19 is minus 18. So you get y is equals to minus 9. So you can see that 8 comma minus 9 is a solution, right? Now similarly, you solve the another case, that is 2x minus 2y plus 3 is 1, whereas 2x plus 2y plus 3 is 37. Okay, so now if we add this, you'll get 4x plus 6 is equals to 38, right? And then again x is equals to 8. So let us put x is equals to 8 in this equation. So you get 2 into 8 plus 2y plus 3 is equals to 37. So you can put it in any equation. I have put it in second equation. So then 2y is equals to, this is 19, 37 minus 19 is 18. So then y is equals to 9, right? So then 8 comma 9 is also a solution. Okay, so then let us solve the third case. So there 2x minus 2y plus 3 is minus 37 and 2x plus 2y plus 3 is minus 1. So let us add these two. 4x plus 6 is minus 38. We get 4x is minus 44 and x is minus 11. So corresponding value of y, you find it. Okay, I leave it to you. Find y. Similarly, in case 4, 2x minus 2y plus 3 is minus 1, whereas 2x plus 2y plus 3 is minus 37. And if you add this, you will get 4x plus 6 is minus 38, and then x is minus 11. So you find the corresponding value of y. So in all, you will have 4 solutions. Okay, 8 comma minus 9, 8 comma 9, and here you will get one more solution, minus 11 and the corresponding value of y, and minus 11 and the corresponding value of y. So you'll have only 4 solutions. Okay, so the advantage was that we expressed this quadratic as, first we did express this as a perfect square, and then we were able to factorize this into 2 linear expressions, and the product of those was 37. And since 37 was prime, we have only 4 cases here. That is 37 into 1, 1 into 37, minus 37, minus 1, and minus 1 and minus 37. So for all the cases, we have solved it and we got 4 solutions. Fine. So suppose while after taking the cases and while solving, if you get say here, if I got x is equals to 5 by 2, then we'll reject this case again. Okay, so these are the possibilities. It doesn't mean every case will have a solution always. So it might be possible that a case here might not have integral values for x and y, so we'll reject those cases again. Okay, so I think this is clear. So just copy the solution and let us move forward. Okay, so let us do one more example. Say if 3x plus 1 by 3x, okay, this is given as say 5, then 9x square plus 1 by 9x square is what? So we have already done with x plus 1 by x. So just squaring on both sides will give me 9x square plus 1 by 9x square plus 2ab is 2, it is 25. So I can say that 9x square plus 1 by 9x square is 23. Okay. Now if I have 3x plus 1 by 5x is equals to say 3, and if I ask you the value of 9x square plus 1 by 25x square, then this is also pretty simple. You just square it. So you get 9x square plus 1 by 25x square plus 2 into 3 by 5 is equals to 9, and the value you get as 9 minus 6 by 5. Right, so that is 45 minus 6, it is 39 by 5. So this is also quite simple. But say if I have 3x plus 1 by 5x is equals to 3, and now I am asking you the value of 25x square plus 1 by 9x square. Okay, so how will you do this? So just try to think about this and pause the video and try this problem, and then we'll come back to seeing the solution. Fine. So let us begin. Now you see that if we square this, we are getting 9x square and 1 by 25x square, right? But we want 25x square and 1 by 9x square. So how do we create 25x square plus 1 by 9x square? Okay, so this you will obtain on squaring 5x plus 1 by 3x, right? If I square this, I'll get these terms. So now this expression I need to convert into this expression. So how I will do that? I'll just multiply with 5 by 3 on both sides, right? Multiply with 5 by 3 on both sides. So if I multiply with 5 by 3, I'll get 5x plus 1 by 3x is equals to 3 into 5 by 3, which is 15 by 3. Now I will square it, right? So 25x square plus 1 by 9x square plus 2 into 5 by 3 is 225 by 9. So then my required answer, that is 25x square plus 1 by 9x square is equals to 225 by 9 minus 10 by 3. So then you can simplify this one. Okay, so it is 225 minus 30 over 9. Okay, so what we have done is we have just multiplied this with 5 over 3, and then we were easily able to simplify this, right? So, okay, so 5, this is just nothing but it is 5, so you'll get 25 here, and this is 25 minus 10 over 3, so it is nothing but 65 over 3, right? So this is the way you can solve this. Okay, so you just need to get the idea that if you multiply with 5 by 3 on both sides, then we will get this expression, and squaring this will give the required answer. Okay, fine. So let us move on and discuss some more basics. So say if I ask you to find the sum of first 100 natural numbers, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, so on, plus 100. Okay, so I mean, there is an interesting story behind this problem. So there was a mathematician called Gauss. So when he was in his 5th standard, so his teacher gave him a punishment for not doing the homework to solve this problem. Okay, so his teacher gave him a task to find the sum of all the numbers from 1 to 100. Okay, at that time the formula for this was not known. So I mean, the teacher already knew the result. The teacher already knew the answer. The answer is 50-50. But how to solve this? The formula for this was not known at that time. Okay, it was, I mean, not recent. It is an example few centuries before. Okay, so I mean, then teacher thought that student will take a lot of time to add this, and so the teacher gave this punishment. But Gauss, what he did was he just wrote this S as in reverse order. Okay, so I'm writing it as 100 plus 99 plus 98 plus so on. So the before term here is 99, right? So plus so on plus 2 plus 1. Okay, so this is what he did, and he just added these two equations. Okay, so now on adding, if I add these two terms, it is 101. This is 101. This is also 101. So on every term is 101. So this is 101 plus 101 plus 101, so on 101. So this is how many times? 100 times, right? Because these are 100 terms. So it is 100 times 101. So this is 101 times 100. So then S is nothing but 101 into 100 over 2. So that is 101 into 50. So he got the answer as 50-50 very quickly. I mean, in a matter of minutes, he did this problem, and the teacher was really shocked. So at that time, Gauss was in 5th standard. So I mean, this is a very important and very basic summation. So say if you have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus so on plus up to n, sum of first n natural numbers, the formula for this is n into n plus 1 by 2. If you have squares of sum of first n natural numbers, then the formula for this is n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6. Okay, and if you have cube of first n natural numbers, then the formula for this is n into n plus 1 by 2 whole square, or this is n square into n plus 1 whole square by 4. Okay, so I mean, how we got these formulae, that will discuss in detail when we study sequence and series. Okay, that is the progressions. So but for now, I mean, you just remember these basic formulae. These you should remember. We'll study the derivations of this in detail when we study sequence and series. Okay, so let us move forward and let us discuss one more thing. So we know how to find the sum of first and natural numbers, right? Now, how to find the sum of first, how to find the product of first and natural numbers. So for sum of first and natural numbers, there is a direct formula, n into n plus 1 by 2. Even if I give you up to 1000, you will do it in a minute, right? 1000 into 1001 by 2. So you can easily get the answer within a minute. But if I give you product of first and natural numbers, product of first and natural numbers, Okay. So, I mean, there is no formula for this till now. Okay. Till now, there is no formula for this. So, but product of first and natural numbers we denote it by n factorial. Okay. It is denoted by n factorial. Okay. This is the symbol for factorial. Or you can also denote it by n factorial. So, this is also the symbol for factorial. So, it is read as n factorial. Okay. So product of first and natural numbers is denoted by n factorial. Fine. So for example, if I ask you 5 factorial, it is nothing but 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So if you multiply this, you'll get 120. Right. If I ask you 3 factorial, it is 1 into 2 into 3, it is 6. Okay. If I ask you 7 factorial, it is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 into 6 into 7. So this is 5040. Okay, you can multiply and check whether it is correct or not. Okay, so you note that 0 factorial, it is 1. Okay, so we will try to understand why 0 factorial is 1 at a later point of time, not now. But for now, you just remember that 0 factorial is equal to 1. Just like a power 0 is 1, right? A power 0 is 1. Similarly, 0 factorial also is 1. So we'll try to understand it is 1 at a later point of time. But for now, you just remember it. Okay, if I ask you minus 3 factorial, okay, this is wrong. This is not defined. Okay, this is not defined. So n factorial is defined only if n is whole number. Only if n is whole number. Okay, whole number means that is the set 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Okay, so if I ask you 5 by 3 factorial, so it is not defined. Okay, so factorial is defined only for whole numbers. 0 factorial is 1, and for rest it is nothing but product from 1 to n. Okay, so say find 7 factorial by 3 factorial. So this is nothing but 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 and by 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, so these terms gets cancelled and you'll get 6 5 is 30, 30 into 28. So that is 3 8 is 24, 2, 3 2 6 and 2. So it is 840. Fine. So this is the story about factorial. So what is factorial of n? It is nothing but 1 into 2 into 3 into up to n. It is a product of first and natural numbers. Fine. So it is n factorial is defined only for whole numbers. If n is whole number, then you have n factorial. So let us move forward. So now let us discuss what is NCR. What is NCR? Okay. So I mean these things are new to you, but you need not worry. All these things we'll discuss in detail when we study combinatorics. Okay. But now I'm just giving you a basic idea of these things so that it will be useful. Okay. So what is NCR? So NCR is nothing but n factorial divided by r factorial into n minus r whole factorial. Okay, this is the formula for NCR, and how this formula came, what is its meaning, that we'll discuss later. Okay, so for now, NCR is nothing but n factorial by r factorial into n minus r whole factorial. For example, what is 5C2? So 5C2 is nothing but 5 factorial by 2 factorial into 5 minus 2 whole factorial, right? So it is 5 factorial by 2 factorial into 3 factorial, and 5 factorial is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, 2 factorial is 2 into 1, and 3 factorial is 3 into 2 into 1. So these terms gets cancelled. So you will get the answer as 10. Okay, so the value of 5C2 is 10. Fine. So what is say 4C2? 4C2 is 4 factorial by 2 factorial into 4 minus 2 factorial. So it is 4 factorial by 2 factorial, 2 factorial. So it is 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 by 2 into 2. Okay, 2 factorial is nothing but 2. So you'll get the answer as 6. Fine. So 4C2 is 6. So say 3C3. 3C3 is nothing but 3 factorial by 3 factorial into 0 factorial, right? So 0 factorial is 1 and 3 factorial gets cancelled. So it is equal to 1. Okay. So what is 3C0? 3C0 is 3 factorial by 0 factorial into 3 minus 0 whole factorial. So it is 3 factorial by 0 factorial, 3 factorial, which is again 1. Okay. So NC0 is always 1. NC0 is equals to 1, right? Because it is nothing but n factorial by 0 factorial n factorial. So this is equal to 1. And similarly, NCN is also equal to 1. Because it is nothing but n factorial by n factorial times 0 factorial. So this is 1. So NC0 and NCN are always 1 for any n. Okay. Now let us see when is NCR defined. When is NCR defined? Okay. So NCR is defined for n belongs to natural number, r belongs to whole number, and n is greater than or equal to r. Okay. So when you write NCR, it automatically means that n is a natural number, r is a whole number, and n is greater than or equal to r. Okay. So you can define 5C0, 6C0, right? 7C2, all these are defined. Okay. But if I talk about 5C6, this is not defined. Why it is not defined? Because here 5 is not greater than or equal to 6, right? Because n is less than r here. So it is not defined. Okay. So 5C6 is not defined. So this number should be greater than the r. Okay. So 7C6, this is defined. 11C20, it is not defined because 11 is less than 20. Okay. So not defined. Now, say if I ask you minus 3C4, then also it is not defined because minus 3 is not a natural number. Okay, so minus 3 does not belong to a set of natural numbers. Say if I ask you 0C2, then also it is not defined because 0 also does not belong to a set of natural numbers. Our n should be in the set of natural numbers, r should be in the set of whole numbers, and n should be greater than or equal to r. Right? So this is not defined. Okay. So all these things are not defined. Say if I have 5 by 3 C4, it is also not defined because 5 by 3 does not belong to the set of natural numbers, right? Say 5C minus 3, it is also not defined because minus 3 is not in the set of whole numbers. My r should be in the set of whole numbers, fine. So the formula for NCR is n factorial by r factorial into n minus r whole factorial, and it is defined if and only if n is a natural number, r is a whole number, and n is greater than or equal to r. Okay, so you just copy it down and let us move forward. So you try to write the notes along with me only. Okay, don't delay it. Try to catch up with the speed. Okay. Yes. So let us discuss one more thing. Let me give you a small idea of what is NCR. Okay. So a small idea of what is NCR. Fine. So NCR is actually the number of ways you can select r things from n different things. Okay, so it is the number of ways in which you can select r things from n different things. For example, say you have 4 different things. Okay, so 4 different things. First, let us take 3 different things only. Okay, so you have 3 different things, A, B, and C. Okay, A is one thing, B is one thing, and C is one thing. So from three different things, you need to select two things. Okay, select two things from three different things, that is ABC. So what are the possibilities? The possibilities are, you can select AB, right? Or you can select BC, or you can select AC, right? From three different things ABC, if you are asked to select two things, you can select A, B, or BC, or AC, right? Note that if you select AB or if you select BA, it is the same thing because it is selection, right? So if there are three students named Ram, Shyam, and Ghanshyam, if I select Ram and Shyam, or if I select Shyam and Ram, it is the same thing because it is just a selection. Okay. So the number of ways are three. So number of ways to select two things from three different things are how much? Three. Okay. That is A, B, B, C, and C, A. But we can do this from formula also, right? It should be equal to 3C2, because what did we say? We said that if we have n different things and if we want to select R things, the formula for that is NCR. So the formula, okay, by formula if we go, then it should be n 3C2, and 3C2 is 3 factorial by 2 factorial into 3 minus 2 whole factorial. So it is 3 factorial by 2 factorial into 1 factorial. So it is 3 into 2 into 1 by 2. So which is 3. Fine. So you can see that these two things are, these two matches. I mean, the formula for NCR gives us the number of ways of selecting R things from n different things. Fine. Say if you have four different things A, B, C, and D. Okay, if you have four different things A, B, C, and D, so select three things out of or from, let us say select three things from A, B, C, and D. So what are the possibilities? So the possibilities are, you can select ABC, you can select ABD, right? ABC or ABD, or you can select ACD, and you can select BCD, right? There is no other possibility. Okay? You can think over, there is no other possibility of selecting three things from A, B, C, and D. So these are the only possibilities. You can select ABC, ABD, ACD, or BCD. Okay. So then this is equal to 4. Okay. So number of ways equals to 4. So by formula, the answer should be how much? We want to select three things from four different things. So the answer is 4C3, right? By formula, if you want to select R things from n different things, the formula is NCR. So if you want to select three things from four different things, the formula is 4C3. Now let us do it by formula. So it is 4 factorial by 3 factorial into 4 minus 3 whole factorial. So it is 4 factorial by 3 factorial into 1 factorial is 1, right? So it is 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 by 3 into 2 into 1. So this is 4. So you can see that these two answers are perfectly matching. Okay. So say if you want to select two things from four things A, B, C, and D. Okay. So what are the possibilities of selecting two things? So you can select AB, you can select AC, you can select AD, you can select BC, BD, and CD. Okay. So first I have done with AB, AC, AD, right? And next I started with B, so it is BC and BD. And next I started with C, so it is CD. So these are the only possibilities of selecting two things from four things A, B, C, and D. You can't have any other possibilities. You can think of it. Okay. So number of ways is how much? It is 6, right? So there are 6 ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So by formula, let us do it. So by formula, the answer should be what? It should be 4C2, right? Because from four different things, you need to select two different things. So it is 4C2. So it is 4 factorial by 2 factorial into 4 minus 2 whole factorial. So it is 4 factorial by 2 factorial 2 factorial. So it is 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 by 2 into 2. So you will get as 6. Okay, you can see that answer is matching. So NCR actually denotes the number of ways of selecting R things from n different things. Okay, so this is the meaning of NCR. Okay, is it clear? And the formula for NCR is n factorial by R factorial n minus R factorial. Okay, so how we got that formula, that will discuss in detail when we are studying combinatorics. But for now, you just remember that the formula for NCR is n factorial by R factorial into n minus R whole factorial. And the meaning of NCR is, it is the number of ways of selecting R things from n different things. Okay, that is NCR. Fine. So since NCR denotes number of ways of selecting R things from n different things. Okay, so it is nothing but number of ways of selecting. So it is a natural number, right? NCR is a natural number. So NCR is a natural number, right? Because you can select things in 4 ways, 5 ways, like that, right? You can't select things in 2 by 3 ways or 1 by 2 ways. So NCR is a natural number because it is nothing but number of ways of selecting things. So number of ways is always a natural number. It is a way of counting. So NCR is always a natural number, right? Also, let us see that 7 factorial, you can write it as 7 into 6 factorial, right? Because 7 factorial is what? 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, right? So this thing is nothing but 6 factorial. So 7 factorial, you can write it as 7 into 6 factorial. Similarly, 8 factorial, you can write it as 8 into 7 factorial. Also 8 factorial, you can write it as 8 into, again 7 factorial, you can write it as 7 into 6 factorial, right? So you can also write it as 6 into 5 factorial. So in this way, if you have n factorial, you can write it as n into n minus 1 whole factorial. Or you can further write it as n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 whole factorial. Okay. So, I mean, these are the ways which you can write n factorial. So if I have NCR, this is n factorial by R factorial into n minus R whole factorial, right? So what I'm doing is, I'm just reducing this n. So n into n factorial is what? N into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into n minus 3 and so on up to 1 by R factorial into n minus R factorial, right? So when I'm reducing it, at some point I will also get n minus R, right? And then I'll have n minus R minus 1, n minus R minus 2 and so on up to 1 by R factorial into n minus R whole factorial, right? So what is the term before this n minus R? Okay, before n minus R, you will be having n minus R plus 1. Okay, then you have reduced it to n minus R. So this is n minus R plus 1 into n minus R into n minus R minus 1, so on up to 1 by R factorial into n minus R whole factorial. Fine. So what I have done is n factorial I have expanded from n to 1. When we are writing in between, we will also get n minus R. And before this, you will have n minus R plus 1, and then you will reduce 1, you will get n minus R. You will reduce 1, you will get n minus R minus 1. You reduce 1, you will get n minus R minus 2, and so on, you will get till 1. Okay. So now, if you see this, this is n, n minus 1, n minus 2, so on, n minus R plus 1. Into this entire thing is what? It is n minus R factorial itself by R factorial into n minus R whole factorial. So these things gets cancelled and you'll get n, n minus 1, n minus 2, so on, n minus R plus 1 by R factorial. Okay. So this is NCR. Is this clear? So you can see the numerator. The numerator is what? It is product of R consecutive integers. Okay. It is a product of R consecutive integers, right? n, n minus 1, n minus 2, these are consecutive integers, and these are r numbers. Okay, first term is 1, n, n minus 1, n minus 2, so on. These are r numbers. Okay, if you count, these are r factors, and the denominator is r factorial. So we can see that since NCR is an integer, I can say that product of r consecutive integers, okay, is divisible by r factorial. Right? So these are the product of r consecutive integers. If you divide it by r factorial, then you are getting an integer, NCR, right? So product of r consecutive integers is divisible by r factorial. Okay. So say we have 5 into 4 into 3, it is divisible by 3 factorial because it is product of 3 consecutive integers. So it is divisible by 3 factorial. Okay. Say you have 7 into 6 into 5 into 4. So this is definitely divisible by 4 factorial. Okay, is this clear? So, I mean, these are the interpretations of NCR. So these are the advantages of NCR. Okay, so we'll see the applications of this in the problems. But now, for now, you have this basic idea. What is NCR? Okay, it is the number of ways of selecting R things from n different things. It is denoted by NCR, and you know the formula, it is n factorial by r factorial, n minus r whole factorial. And we have derived an important thing, that product of r consecutive integers is always divisible by r factorial because NCR is always an integer. Okay, so we have expressed NCR it in this way. Okay, so now say you have 5C4, you can write it as 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 by 4 factorial into 1. So this gets cancelled, so it is just 5. Okay. Also, we can see that 5C1 is 5 by 1 factorial 4 factorial. So this is again 5. Okay. So you can see that NCR is equals to NC n minus r, right? Because you can see it directly from the formula. The formula for NCR is, let us prove it. The formula for NCR is n factorial by r factorial into n minus r whole factorial. And the formula for NC n minus r will be what? N factorial by, now instead of r you have n minus r. So you write first n minus r factorial into, okay, so n factorial. Instead of r you have r factorial, and then you write n minus r whole factorial. So this is n factorial by n minus r factorial, and this is r factorial. Okay. So if you see these two equations, the right hand side is same. So you can say that from equation 1 and equation 2, NCR is equals to NC n minus r. Okay, so this is an important identity. So say you have 77C2. So this is nothing but 77 into 76 by 2 into 1. Because there is one 75 factorial here, and here in the denominator also you'll get 77 minus 2 whole factorial, right? So it will just get cancelled. So how do you compute this is, you just write 77 into 76. You just write 2 terms, okay, and divide it by 2 factorial, because that is what we have expressed here, right? NCR you can write it as n, n minus 1, so on. These are r terms, and you divide it by r factorial. This is also NCR. So 77C2, you write it as 77 into 76. You divide it by 2 factorial, you get the answer. Okay. Suppose you have, say, 9C3. So you, instead of using the formula, you can write 9 into 8 into 7, right? There's 3 consecutive terms from 9, because NCR is what? N, n minus 1, n minus 2 are consecutive terms. Okay, these are r consecutive terms. So you just write r consecutive terms, that is 3 consecutive terms, and you divide it by 3 factorial. Okay, so 3 3 is 9, 2 4 is 8, so 12 7 is 84. Okay, say you want to compute 10C3, so you write 10 into 9 into 8 by 3 into 2 into 1, so it is 120. Say you want to compute, say, 100C2, so you just write 100 into 99 by 2 into 1, then you get the answer as 50 into 99. So you want to compute 150C4. So you just write 4 consecutive terms, 150, 149, 148, 147 by 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay. Now say if you want to compute 150C 147. Okay. Now you can write this as 150C3 because NCR is NC n minus R. And now 150C3 you can compute it easily. You write 3 consecutive factors and you divide it with 3 factors. Okay. So I hope this is clear. So what we have studied is, we have studied what is n factorial and what is NCR, what is the formula for NCR, what is the meaning of NCR, and how to compute NCR. Okay, so we compute NCR by writing just R consecutive factors in the numerator and dividing it with R factorial. Okay, and we have also studied that product of R consecutive integers is always divisible by R factorial. Fine. So we'll continue it in the next session.